Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the FP Journe Centigraphe Souverain Black Label, an FP Journe boutique exclusive, and only for those who already own FP Journe timepieces. You can see this example, incidentally, available for purchase immediately, on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this FP Journe Centigraphe Souverain Black Label. Now each year, each FP Journe boutique is able to produce two black label examples of any given model, meaning any given year over the last few model seasons. That could be anywhere from 18 to 20 examples of this specific watch. And again, that's in an entire year. So for a company that makes somewhere between 650 and 900 watches per season, this watch is still a rarity, even by those standards. Now, the timepiece is gorgeous. There's a reason that since the late 2000s, when the Black Label series emerged, it's represented the most exclusive. The combination of a white metal and a black dial is sensational. Now, the watch is 40 millimeters. If you measure the slight outcroppings of the caseband, those linear striations, the ridges that run the length, it actually measures out to 40.5, but it's fairly slim, 10.7 millimeters thick despite the amount of complication contained within. It also features a dramatically domed bezel that allows it to easily slide underneath a dress cuff or a tight sleeve. From lug to lug, the watch is a fairly compact 48.2, so it wears well on a smaller wrist. I would say 14 centimeters in circumference. Your wrist is still going to wear this with good proportion and security, and you can see that the lugs do turn down quite dramatically, almost 90 degrees from the sweep of the caseband to fit a smaller wrist. The semi-conforming spring bars do nicely trace the arc of the case, creating a more integrated look, but they're not pinned against the flank, so you can pull the strap down around the tight curve of a smaller wrist. And of course, this one features an FP Journe strap. Make no mistake, this is an FP Journe factory strap, but it's a sensational sort of dark lavender, I might call it, somewhere between fuchsia and lavender. It's spectacular, with a light contrasting stitch in almost royal purple, a gloss finish, and large rectangular alligator leather scales on the top with small round scales on the bottom. What a strap! And cheers to FP Journe for offering such audacious options. It does transform the watch. A simple and elegant platinum pin buckle to match the case. Don't take that for granted. Not all luxury manufacturers give you a platinum buckle or clasp on a platinum watch anymore. For shame to them, FP Journe, good job for doing things right. Now you can see the watch is all in high polish, but because it's so slim, it doesn't seem outlandish or flamboyant. It seems appropriate and rich. The bezel is nicely domed, giving way to a spectacular, rich, glossy black dial base with stylized numerals. They are not luminescent, nor the hands at center, just to be clear. Even though they look like Luminova, they're just a color calculated for contrast against the backdrop. Railroad style minutes track outboard, and then you can see a highly polished triple bezel featuring 3 scales. One is a flying second that can register to the 1/100th of a second, hence centigraphe. There is a 20 seconds subregister, and then there's another subregister at 6 o'clock, which is 10 minutes, and each one has its own separate tachymeter scale, so you can basically clock objects between 6 kilometers per hour and over 30,000 kilometers per hour. Practical? Maybe not. Academically interesting? Definitely. Visually spectacular? Oh yeah. Now you can see the level of polish on that bezel at center is effectively polynoir or black polish, so you get that sensational appearance of the most finely finished movement components. Now it does feature a unique rocker switch that is actually patented that allows you to actuate the functions, so you can actually start and stop, unlike a conventional mono pusher. And it is sort of a mono pusher, as this is just one integral component, albeit with more functionality than a conventional mono pusher. Now if you want to reset, again, visually spectacular. Now the crown is a bit weird. It winds in the outermost position, or I should say the intermediate position. The outermost position sets the time, but inboard, when it's flush to the case, it doesn't do anything. So second position is winding, outermost position sets the time. Let's keep it running. It's fun. Turn it over. Okay. Now you're looking at FP Journe manufacture caliber 1506, so 15 French lean and 06, 2006, the year work started on the movement. That's the FP Journe movement nomenclature. You can see 18-karat rose gold plates and bridges. The Centigraphe was never made during the brass movement era. It effectively succeeded the octochronograph, which was built partly during the brass movement era. What you see here features a unique circular Côte de Genève, richly textured. Across the base plate there is an even and tight engine turning, and then there's a beautiful mirrored anglage to the edge of every bridge that's nicely executed. You can also see the gleam of the same treatment in the jewel countersinks. Free sprung balance, so able to take and hold a tight, precise regulation and retain that in the face of bumps and disruptions. That's the advantage of a free-sprung architecture. Big balance with a high moment of inertia and beating away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. The focal point of this movement, unlike most Journe watches where the focal point is the balance, the focal point is the barrel at center. Now the barrel, when manually wound to its full extent of power reserve, is 80 hours. If the chronograph is running, it becomes 24 hours of power reserve. And a little bit like the Jaeger-LeCoultre Duomet, it has two separate drivetrains, but unlike the Duomet, which has two separate barrels and thus suffers no loss of power reserve, the Journe suffers no loss of amplitude to the balance when the chronograph is running, and that's like the Duomet, but it does suffer a loss of power reserve because it's running both the time and the chronograph off a single barrel, albeit via two separate drivetrains. So that's why the power reserve is diminished, but amplitude, because of the two separate drivetrains, is not. A very handsome movement. It also adds considerable heft to this watch with a full platinum case and a solid gold movement. You're getting a lot of precious metal, and it feels it. It inspires confidence, and it exudes a sense of luxury in the hand and on the wrist. Now, this strap may not be your cup of tea. Nevertheless, it's easy to remove. As you can see, the pull tab spring bars, a recent Journe fitment, and I should say it's been going for at least 10 years, not terribly recent, but a modern concept that allows you to rapidly swap straps for a change of appearance or to simply get close and clean the case between the lugs. This is a handsome and versatile watch, and again, as part of the Black Label series, conventionally you're only going to be able to buy these through boutiques and after having proven that you already own an FP Journe. Thanks to the miracle of pre-owned on our website, you can make this one your first. See it and own it on our site.